Welcome back to DJ Live, the Sunday talk show here on the Arise News channel. With me today, I have Professor David Awurawo, Professor of International Relations and Strategic Studies at the University of Lagos, and Professor Anthony Killer, Professor of Strategy and Development and Institute Director at the Commonwealth Institute of Advanced and Professional Studies, CIAPS. Now, to our next guest, a former Federal Commissioner for Information and leader of the South-South geopolitical region, Edwin Clark, has made public his memoir titled Brutally Frank as part of activities to mark his 96th birthday. The book is due for public presentation on Tuesday, November the 21st. Speaking during a church service to thank God for his life, Chief Clark said that Nigeria is not standing properly and there will be no peace, just as he vowed that as a Nigerian, he will not keep quiet if his people keep getting marginalized by other parts of the country. The elder statesman explained that he had stopped celebrating birthdays since the abduction of the Chibok secondary school girls in 2014. Ebipere K. Clark, one of Chief Edwin Kiagbodo Clark's sons, joins us now to talk about his father in anticipation of Tuesday's public presentation of the book, Brutally Frank, at Muson Center here in Lagos. Thank you very much, Ebipere Clark, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Well, I think I have a copy of the book here. Brutally Frank, the autobiography of Edwin Kiagbodo Clark, Pa Ike Clark, as you all know him. But you are his son.
Yes.
You know him better than other people who say Pa Clark, Pa Clark. What kind of a father is he?
Yes, this is his autobiography, and it's always very strange for a child to read an autobiography of one's father because, we only see our parents in certain ways. A good example is we don't even call him Pa, we call him Chief. All his children actually call him Chief. Everyone outside calls him Pa or Daddy. To us, he's always been the same. Very outspoken, always wanting us as children to speak and to say our minds. And, that hasn't changed in the 50 plus years that I've known him. So to us, there hasn't been much of a change. His biography is essentially a project that he's been working on for the last 10 years. So for all of us as his children, we're very pleased that he's finally got it out because we were always a little bit worried, is he going to get his magnus opus out on time? And fortunately this year, he's managed to do it.
Well, quite a book, 688 pages. Yeah. I've only managed to skim read it because you can read a book of 688 pages within 24 hours. But let me ask you, one of the things he talks about here is the unique bond shared by three brothers. And by these three brothers, he's referring to Professor J.P. Clark and also Ambassador Akporode Clark, his brothers. Yeah. Tell us about the family.
They are his younger brothers. After my father, there was another child who passed away, and then there was Uncle B.A., as we call him, Blessing Akporode, and then Uncle J.P. For literally every day, they're on the phone to each other. Even I'm not on the phone as often as they are, to my siblings. They were very close, and to us, his children, once again, we call them like the Three Musketeers, always sort of gossiping on various aspects of Nigerian life. They were exceptionally close, and I think it says so in this book as to how tight that bond was, yes.
Yeah, he talks about that in chapter 13 of the book. But in chapter 25, he talks about people's perception of me. But I see that in that chapter 25, what is provided, there are positive statements by General Abdulsalami Abubakar, General Yakubu Gohan, with whom he worked, and others. But there are some people who think that your dad is a troublesome old man. A man like Chief Olusegun Oshoba, I think, perhaps, yeah. probably, well, maybe I'm quoting wrongly. I'm not too sure now. I will have to double check. But there are persons who think that, your dad should at least allow the younger generation to carry on.
I can understand that, and the statement is he's brutally frank, but one of the things he's always done is to speak his mind, and the aspect of speaking your mind is there will be members of your audience who perhaps will be taken a little bit aback by that, but he has made it completely clear to us he will keep on going. He will be writing his monthly letters to various editors like yourself on the state of national affairs, with his theme of advocacy. He will just keep on going to the very end.
At 96.
And onwards.
At 96. I know some children of famous people whose parents have also enjoyed the gift, grace of longevity, who tell their parents, look, it's okay, daddy. I mean, at 96, 90 something, allow other people to carry on. Don't you sometimes, as one of his sons, feel like, maybe he should retire and leave Nigeria? Nigeria will never disappear. Nigeria will always be here.
It's, I would like to think that myself when I retire, I'm not doing that. But, one can see it's definitely something that drives him. And for the last 20 years, since I've sort of returned to Nigeria, every day it's a daily process of him going through, reading articles, thinking about what's going on in the country, and in some cases addressing that. And from what I've seen, having a purpose really, lends itself to one's retirement. For my father, that purpose is advocacy. Maybe he should have taken up gardening, I guess, but for him, it's political advocacy. And I think he will keep on doing it, right until the very end.
Okay, it's E.K. Clark. You are E.K. Clark.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, the junior version. But one of his major themes, also addressed in this book, in chapter 21, is restructuring.
Yes.
Do you share the same philosophy about Nigeria being restructured? What does it mean to you?
I think it's one of those things that means different things to different people. I can see his arguments. I have my own political views, but I don't think your audience really have come to listen to my political views.
No, you're a Nigerian. You're a stakeholder. No, we're interested in your own views too.
Okay. I do see that there is an aspect needed for restructuring. I think that a lot can be had with delegating power and delegating authority. How much that is, it does depend upon, I think, the culture of the people within the unit. So, yes, there's a lot of discussions as to how well this country is working at the current moment. Perhaps some sort of devolution of authority, some sort of delegation of decision-making might help in making things better.
Okay. The Clarks come from this ancient, legendary Bekederemo family. What does that mean to you?
It's something that, in the family, we've always grown up with. My father's great-grandfather was Bekederemo, and we always hear him as this great trader of what was then Niger Delta oil, palm oil. Mm-hmm. So when we go back to our village, we see the houses of our parents, our grandparents. For myself, it looks, it's not something that I grew up with. So we've always had it instructed in us, this lineage, to be honest, of who we are and where we come from, and that it is up to us as individuals to follow it to our own individual directions, but to keep to the nature of that, which is, I guess, integrity and steadfastness, I would say.
Okay, but look, the children of famous men, they bear a special burden. Okay, you have a famous father who has been on the scene in Nigeria for more than 50 years, and who is a major cultural and social figure. What does he say legacy mean to you? Because it's quite a burden, isn't it, to be a big man's son?
For me personally, politically, I'm not a politically minded person. But if there's one thing that has been a common thread in my father's life, it's education. So, even from the start of the book, I think it goes on about, his earlier education, his teaching at teacher training college. Unlike his younger brothers, he wasn't able to go to secondary school. There's always a story we hear in the family that because he could touch his ear or something, he was deemed too old, so he didn't go to secondary school. But of what I'd call the two major projects that my father's been involved with in the last 10 years, the book is one of them. The other one is his university.
Yes.
So, about, I think, 2014, 2015, he was looking to set up a university, which is in the village of Kiagbodo.
Yeah.
And, that is now
Have you been there before?
I have been to Kiagbodo. I go there.
You can find your way there?
Google Maps is wonderful. Yeah.
You can find your way there
It's on Google
with the aid
Maps.
of Google Maps.
It's on the satellite, yes. Google Maps is wonderful.
Okay, that's very interesting.
And there, if you look at the map, there is the university. And I think we've just gone through the third year of full legal students. And to my father, that's what he really views as his legacy. What other people view as his legacy, I think it's up to individuals and how they view him, and even, I would say, even his children. But to my father, it's education, and so and it always has been education.
Okay, the book is titled Brutally Frank.
Yes.
Okay, every Nigerian who knows Chief E.K. Clark would say, yes, it's indeed brutally frank. Is it brutally frank at home?
We all speak our minds. I actually think it's rather much a family trait. I think the only one who I would say is Ambassador, his younger brother. Everyone else is, yes, brutally frank, and it's not just my father.
No, I'm asking you, Pa.E.K. Clark, is it brutally frank at home? Is he a disciplinarian father, or is he just the patriarch?
Oh, he's a frank patriarch. I wouldn't even say brutal, but he's just been frank since day one. And it is something where we all speak our minds out. Yeah, he's been very frank. He'll give everyone his mind.
Okay, so this book is going to be presented publicly on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, yes.
Here in Lagos, right? Muson Center.
Yes.
What should we expect?
Well, I recall the Abuja launch, and I didn't get a seat. To be dead honest, this is actually quite common. So this time I'll go early and make sure I get a seat. What really hit me with the Abuja, and I think because of the location, was the number of people that came from far and wide, especially from the Middle Belt and the northern states. I mean, I'm not that familiar with a lot of the names, but like I said, I didn't get a seat. I would think it'll be more personalities from the Southwest and even from the South-South, those who perhaps weren't able to attend, maybe more commercially minded people, more than the political people that came to Abuja. But, I would expect it to be just as packed out again. Okay,
I'm sure many people will be seeing you for the first time in the public space, the son of Pa.E.K. Clark. Tell us about yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
Okay.
Where are you in this Nigerian equation?
Okay.
Tell us about yourself.
I'm a consultant. I consult on infrastructure and climate finance. I've worked for some while with the government, even in the administration that you were in.
Really?
Yes.
And we never met?
We met, but obviously I've got one of those forgettable faces, I think. So for the past 13 years, I've been giving advice to the government, to private sector companies on infrastructure finance. Absolutely nothing political.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Ebipere K. Clark, E.K. Clark Jr.
Thank
Can I add Junior to it?
You can't, because there's actually another ABK Clark in.
Oh,
in the
there's
family.
another one.
There's another
That
AB
is
Clark.
Junior.
There
Okay.
were three AB Clarks.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, there's an Ebikeme.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Anyway, thank you very much, Ebipere Clark, for joining us on This is Live, the Sunday Talk Show. And we look forward to the public presentation of this book on Tuesday at the Muson Center in Lagos, the autobiography of Chief E.K. Clark.